All right, everybody, welcome back to My Classic Fords. Today I'm going to have a look at this 8N, see if we get any chance to start it and get it going. First thing I was looking at, the battery is definitely no good, so we're going to pull it out. So we'll take that out. One thing I thought I'd mention, these go-through ratchets are fantastic for something like that. You got a nut way down there, you can't get at it. So those are quite handy. Once I switch out the battery, we're gonna see if it's got any oil in it and what it looks like. And then we're gonna have a look to see if there's any chance that it has spark. That would be great. So we'll try and roll it over and see if it just happens to take off. All right, let's get that battery swapped. All right, I got the battery changed. The battery's way too big for the tractor. It was kind of difficult to get it wiggled up underneath the hood, but it's only temporary. Like you see, it's pretty tight. We'll have to get a proper size battery, but this is just to see if it's gonna even roll over at a lone fire. I did check the oil. The oil is full. It's a little bit black, but it doesn't smell like gas, so hopefully it wasn't sitting there, too awful long, and it doesn't seem to be seized up or anything. You can put a wrench on the front and turn it, so we're gonna go ahead and try the button here and see if it works. So I have no idea what's been done to this tractor or geared up. I don't know if he's got anything hooked up or not. So we got no power to here. They didn't change it over to a key switch, or at least I don't think they did. This tractor's got all kinds of strange wiring. This red wire here is just simply curled around this wire, taped to it. I don't know what that was for, but so now we'll have to go over it and see why it will not start, or why it won't even roll over. Okay, so I thought before we would go any further with the electrical problem, I was having a look at the wiring situation here. Obviously something's not quite right. These here are actually a ground switch. When you push this down, you are actually grounding them together to make a connection. That's kind of the way they were wired up originally. Over here, they've got power coming off the switch spliced into that wire. I realized when you turn the key on and push this button, this wire actually gets amazingly hot. So obviously it's not correct. Obviously you're grounding this and running it direct to power. So I know we're pretty much going to have to eliminate what's going on here. I did just cross it over just to see, if the starter was jammed up. It's not. The starter rolls over, it rolls the engine over. So the next thing I wanted to look at before we, turn the fuel on, so to speak, and put fuel into the carburetor, I wanted to check the tank. So I turned this on, and as you see, that is actually the level that is in the tractor. Give it a little bit of a wiggle if you can see it, but that's not just the dirt. There's no gas from here down. That's wide open, and there's no fuel dripping down, so obviously we have a problem. This is not a good sign. I opened up the cap. If the bottom of your gas cap looks like this, chances are you're not going to like what you find in there. The entire tank looks like that, so we pretty much know that the tank needs an extensive cleaning, if nothing else. So that's where we're going to go next with it. Probably going to pull the hood off next, just to get it out of our way, so we can pull the gas tank off and clean it. So let's get at it. All right, guys, so the mechanic here, he's checking out the bottom of the tractor for me. I figured I'd skip the part where, I take the hood off. It's pretty hard to hold the camera and take the hood off at the same time. And it's not really that exciting. But there's 4 bolts here, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the dash. You take those off. There's 1 bolt on each side of the dog leg down here. So you take those off. The fuel tank on these comes off with the hood. So just unthread your fuel line and take it off. The last thing you want to take off is your air cleaner piece. It fits inside of your breather, goes on the side of the hood. It's got 1 wing nut. You just take it off, flip it out, and then your hood's good and free to lift off. So now that the hood's off, you can really see how bad the radiator is. It's in terrible shape.
All done, okay?
It's got 2N on it.
It's all done.
It's all done already.
Oh, some more.
So I'm guessing it's not the proper 8N radiator. I don't know that for sure, but I can't imagine why it would have 2N written on it if it was the proper one. Either way, that doesn't concern me that much. What concerns me is the one radiator that's there is pretty much no good. So what we got to do now, we got to get this gas tank out from the hood. And then now that we got the hood off, I'm going to have a good look at it. Because now that it's off, maybe now that the gas tank's got to come out, I might take it to a friend of mine and have it blasted. He uses a very fine, soft blasting material. I forget what it is, if it's shells or soda. He's done stuff for me in the past, so it definitely won't hurt it. Definitely do not want to just full out sandblast it, I wouldn't think. Might be kind of rough on it. All right, so let's pull the gas tank out and go from there. So I got the gas tank out of the hood. You know, some guys take it out when it's on the tractor. Definitely for me anyway, it was easier doing it this way. I just set it on the bench, rolled underneath of it, and essentially how it goes on, your gas tank sits on the cross members. So this is the front cross member. The gas tank sits on top. In the back, the cross member sits up here. So the gas tank's on the bottom of the cross member. So take out your front bolts first. That's very important. And the tank will hold itself up. Take out one back one. And then if you're by yourself, grab a pair of vice grips, clamp it down. Or in my case, the bolt was so easy to get out, I just held the gas tank up, took the bolt off, and then you lower the back of the tank. Once you lower the back enough, you can slip the front out. One thing that was really cool on this tank, my guess is this is a replacement tank. And for those of us in this part of the country, they will know exactly where this tank come from. So there's a Ford tag on it. So it came from the Ford Motor Company, Pointe Claire, Quebec. But more importantly, I actually know the dealer that it was sent to, and it's really hard to read, but it was Paul Palmer in Berwick, Nova Scotia. So this tank actually came from a dealer that was very close to where I grew up. I don't remember when that dealer shut down, but it would have been probably, I'm guessing, the early 90s. So that being said, that means that gas tank, you know, was in fact a replacement gas tank approximately at least 30 years ago. So that's kind of cool. So we're about wrapping it up for today. What I'm going to do, we're going to have a look at the gas tank and we're going to look at cleaning it. Haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet. There's all kinds of methods. Kind of depends on how bad the tank is itself inside. It is a 30-year-old gas tank, so we may have to get a new one. We'll see. And I think I might disassemble this hood further. Have it blasted. I want to take the brackets off that somebody put on it. we'll get it set up so we can put the proper headlights back on it. But other than that, that's just kind of the first step that we done here. Another thing I was looking at was, I just wanted to check to see if I had power down to my distributor. So right on top here, right on top of your coil, if you put a test light there and just run your lead there and then run your, your negative to ground, if you roll your tractor over, that light should flash. I didn't have my test light with me, but I used a meter instead, just an electrical meter, which you can do too. I have one with sound, so I just put one here, did a continuity test from here to here, and I had continuity. As I rolled it over, it should have, not have had continuity for a couple seconds in between the points. So in this case, I believe the points to be stuck open for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on there, but so we're gonna look into next video. Probably look into the distributor. Probably pull that off. We'll have to get a tune-up kit for it, and once we take that off, we'll establish spark. Likely have to rebuild the carburetor. That's usually how this works. But other than that, that's what we got on the go right now. First step is to get that gas tank either cleaned out very good or get a new one. We're going to run all new, well, I say all new fuel line. There's only one, it's very short. But we want to run everything new. We want to eliminate gas as our problem. Next thing we're going to do, we'll eliminate the distributor as a problem. We'll eliminate the carburetor as a problem. Put maybe some new spark plugs in it, and it should run. Other than that, it should run. All right, guys. Well, if you like what you're seeing here, hit that like button for me. That'd be great, and subscribe if you want to. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. You guys have a great day. Thanks a lot for watching.